What's up, Dolphins and South Florida representatives? This day here to preview our Week 2 contest against the Patriots at the Big Razor Gillette Stadium. The Pats are going to be rocking a throwback, so the crowd is going to be a sea of red. And I wish we was wearing our throwbacks. I think it's kind of bogus that we can't wear them this game. I don't know why we're not wearing them this game. I would have loved for us to wear our all-white color rush throwbacks that we recently wore. But we're going to be wearing our throwbacks against the Patriots in Week 8 and against the Cowboys as well. I think teams should be able to wear whatever the hell they want to wear. Y'all let me know in the comment section if y'all know why we have to report to the league every time we want to wear our throwbacks. Why can't we just wear them every single game? I know the fans would want that, but it is what it is. But this Sunday night, it's going to be an 8:20 game on NBC Peacock. And it's going to be loud. It's going to be nasty, but I like it that way. And, we should wear shirts that say, I wish it was louder, and go in there and just be hijackers and burglars. And let's steal their souls and silence the crowd and send them on a losing streak heading into Week 3 against their game versus the Jets. If we can get this win, I think it will place us atop the division. I think right now the Jets are above us because they beat Buffalo last week. And as y'all know, divisional games are the ones that matter the most. I mean, we beat the Chargers last week, and that's going to help us within the conference because we're going to own the tiebreaker versus them when it comes to playoff seeding and positions. But we got to win our divisional games without a doubt. And even though, the Patriots lost to the Eagles, Philly is an NFC team, so it's going to hurt them, but it's not going to hurt them as much. We got to hit them where it hurts in the division. And, they were always in that game against the Eagles, even though they lost. And I think they could have won that game. So I don't think we should use the same strategy that the Eagles used offensively. It worked for them in a different type, because they're in a different type of offense. Similar because they run the West Coast with Nick Sirianni, but it is different. Our deception, I think, is different. And even though I did see some film work of the Eagles, and I wrote down some keys, I believe that Coach Mike can run pretty much the exact same plays that he ran last week against the Chargers, against the Patriots, although there are some key things that I would focus on, which I'm going to talk about. When I look at the rivalry, the Dolphins-Patriots rivalry has been played 115 times, including 3 postseason games, with New England winning 55 games and us winning 60 games. So even though they've pretty much been mostly dominant against us in the 2000s, especially the 2010s, we still own the rivalry. We still have more games that we won against them. Let's look at injuries. We penciled in 9 players on the injury report. Raheem Mostert didn't participate in practice on Wednesday due to a knee injury. He might not play. I don't think it doesn't look like he will play. His status for Sunday's game is unknown. It's kind of up in the air. If he can't make it, I expect Salvin Ahmed to start in his place. Of course, I would prefer to see Devon Achane start instead, but he's dealing with a shoulder injury. He may or may not play. He was a full participant in Wednesday's practice. So was Xavier Howard and Brandon Jones, as well as Connor Williams, who I didn't think was injured, but I guess he was. We had some players that were limited, including left tackle Teron Armstead, Waddle, who suffered a minor oblique injury, Elijah Campbell, and tight end Julian Hill. Now, I really hope tight end Julian Hill can somehow play, because I noticed on tape that New England does not do a good job of stopping teams' tight ends on seam routes down the train tracks or around the train tracks. And I think that could be exploited in this game, even though Smythe does not. He played good last week. He definitely came through for us last week. I just don't think he's going to be the tight end that is going to be able to exploit their linebackers in this game, even though he will make some plays. And I hope that he does make some plays. And I hope he proves me wrong. I'm worried about Mostert, though, because his knee injury has been an off and on issue for him in his career, even with San Francisco. And I hope that doesn't continue to annoy him. Last 2 times we played the Patriots was in week 1 and week 17 of last year. In the opening week 1 game last year, we entered the league with defense being the strength of the team. We thought our defense really was going to be the strength until we got Tyreek Hill and we found out that no matter what defense you got, no matter how dominant your defense is, Tyreek Hill is the strength of your team if he's on your team. But after the work Josh Boyer did with the unit in 2020 and 2021 with Flores, they balled and they showcased right out of the gate with a good defensive touchdown, an interception, and a forced fumble in this game. Christian Wilkins and Zach Seiler both showed that, they can ball, that they can play against New England, and they were in their back pocket all game long. I think both can be ambushers again this Sunday. And, we shut their Patriots, we shut out their offense all but one drive. Tua Tagovailoa passed for 270 yards and a touchdown. Mac Jones threw for 213 yards with a touchdown and an interception. Running back Ty Montgomery caught the Patriots' only touchdown of the game. Damian Harris led New England's running game with 48 yards on 9 carries. So we pretty much had him contained. He's now on the Buffalo Bills, and he's been replaced by Ezekiel Elliott, who they signed. So we got to prepare for him. When I noticed their play with their two running backs, Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris last year, I noticed that Ramondre Stevenson ran a lot off tackle to the left and off guard to the left. He did break some runs to the right as well, but most of his runs was on the left side. And Damian Harris, most of his runs was off tackle to the right and off guard to the right. I'm not saying that that's going to be, that is definitely what they're going to do, but that's what I noticed when I seen their games last year. The second game we played them was in week 16 on New Year's Day. We lost that game 21-23. Tua didn't play because he was hurt, still in concussion protocol from the Cincinnati Bengals game. So Teddy Bridgewater started that game over Skylar Thompson, but Skylar did play. I thought Teddy looked pretty good in parts of the game, but ultimately made too many costly turnovers. I like McDaniel's game plan for our backups, but you could definitely tell that they're not running Tua's offensive packages. They can't really run them as well as he can. So, that's kind of why I want us to get a left-handed backup. That's why I was looking at Holton Ahlers from the Seattle Seahawks in preseason. He's a lefty quarterback. He looked good for them. I believe if Geno Smith goes down, or if he doesn't even play well, and capitalize off of his great season last year, don't be surprised if Holton Ahlers ends up playing for them. And I scouted Holton in the East-West Shrine game, and I think he played pretty well that game. But Teddy completed 12 of 19 passes for 161 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, with the QBR of 35.5, which is terrible. Skylar completed 12 of 21 passes, also with 1 touchdown and 1 interception. And Mostert and Jeff both were effective toting the rock, but Hill and Waddle were a non-factor with Tua out. And it's clear from this game that this scheme is pretty much tailored for him. So I hope he can stay healthy and continue to put up big numbers for us. Tua's who I'm talking about. I have no doubts about Tua's talent, but I don't think he's putting up another 466 in this game. And I also doubt Tyreek puts up 200 plus yards in this game, because I believe that Bill Belichick is obviously going to key up on him and try to limit him. I wouldn't be surprised if Waddle has a good game, though. He might go off, but I don't think Tyreek. It's Tyreek, so I can't completely doubt him, but I think Bill Belichick is going to limit him in this game. And I also wouldn't be surprised if we attack them again horizontally, because I think Bill Belichick is also going to try to take away the middle of the field. First game we played against the Patriots last week, we attacked horizontally, if you watch that game. Here's my keys to victory on offense against the Patriots. Again, last year we beat them underneath with throws to Chase Edmonds, wide receiver screens, and we attacked them horizontally. Tua's going to need to definitely step up in the middle of the pocket and climb the pocket a lot on offense because of Matthew Judon and Uche. Those guys can get after it on the edges. So he's going to have to step up, but step up quick. Don't take too long to step up in the pocket, because you also got Wise in the middle. So you're going to have to step up quick. I think we need to play action on 3rd and short instead of running it. The Patriots do an excellent job of stopping third and short runs, 4th and short runs. If it's short and you need to convert, don't run the ball against the Patriots. I mean, normally you would do that, but I would say they will probably bite on the play action, and we can probably either roll to or out left or right. Maybe even have him scramble for first downs sometimes when it comes to those short yardage plays. Or I would use maybe the wildcat, the reverse, or the jet sweep on 3rd and short. Just don't try to run up the middle. Don't try to run. They got that figured out. They can handle that. Be aware of cornerback Jack Jones. I think he's good at jumping routes. He did that against the Eagles, and I think he's going to be, we got the best receiver, so I don't think he can cover our receivers, but I'm just saying he's good at jumping routes. They usually play a lot of zone, but they will mix it up here and there. Sometimes they'll have one of their corners play man coverage and the other one will play off, either on the left or the right side. And I think for Matthew Judon, to neutralize him, his edge pressure, I would run the toss play to his side. I think he can be caught maybe overrunning the play, over pursuing, and I think he can be caught on them toss plays if we run it the right way. I also think they're weak in the middle off of motion. I think we can run draw plays out of shotgun up the middle, and just any kind of motion where the wide receiver's motioning and you're handing it off up the middle. For some reason, the wildcat or any kind of play where there's a receiver motioning, they get confused. And I think that's why we were able to beat them with the wildcat when we had Pennington and Ronnie Brown and all of them. For some reason in his defense, they can be caught off of that. And the Eagles ran that against them, and other teams were able to have success against them using that type of concept last year. Don't turn the ball over on offense, because and that's because it's Bill Belichick. But no, some teams you can turn the ball over on offense and make up for it. With the Patriots, if you turn the ball over, you're asking to lose this game. So them high snaps that Connor Williams had, you cannot do that in this game. I don't give a damn if you give up some leverage in the middle. Don't high snap the ball over to his head this game. It will cost us. I think we should chip Matthew Judon with Ingo and maybe chip and release. So chip him, but release him out into the pattern, because I think they're going to be susceptible to running back wheel routes. They're susceptible to that, I believe. Chip and wheel, I think that'll work against them. I think we got to be careful because they play too deep coverage, so they're good at forcing teams into mistakes with too high safeties. And like I said, they're not good at covering tight ends down the seam, so we can exploit that. My keys to victory on defense. This is going to be Vic Fangio versus Bill O'Brien. And what I noticed on defense, we got to be wary of them running a lot of empty formations, because they like to do that to be able to tire out the D-line, is run a lot of empty, a lot of 4 wide sets. So we got to be wary of that. Their longest play by the second quarter of the Eagles game was only 15 yards. So I don't expect them to go deep down the field, especially not in the middle of the field. If they do go deep, they're going to the boundaries. Another thing I will say is Devontae Parker is a legit concern in this offense. He's perfect for this offense. He went off against the Ravens last year, and you could even say that, that was his breakout game for them. They don't really have, the thing about the Patriots that's hard to figure out with them is they don't really have a number one receiver. They never really have had one besides Randy Moss and Troy Brown when he was there. And I think maybe Sean Jefferson was just in the history of the Patriots. They never really have a number one receiver under Bill Belichick. So you don't really know who's going to be their go-to. They basically have game plans for their receivers, and they're pretty much receiver by committee. The only constant I notice about their offense is Ramondre Stevenson. He's really the only constant, and they use him in a variety of different ways, not just pounding the rock in the middle, but he's great in the passing game as well. He can run any different formations, including zigs and angle routes. So you're going to see him, act like he's, running a hitch, and he'll pivot out, and they do that a lot. They run tight end screens also to both Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, but mostly to Jonnu Smith. He's their yak tight end. That's another thing too with the Patriots that I noticed that hasn't changed. They have three-headed monsters, not just in the running game, but also with their receiving unit and with their tight end unit. So there's going to be an athletic tight end, there's going to be a blocking tight end, and there's going to be a do-it-all tight end. And same thing with their receiving core. So that's really the only thing that you can really pick up off of. Our linebackers are going to be our most important unit on defense when we play them, not our secondary. Our secondary is going to be important, obviously, but especially our linebackers. Also, Marcus Jones. Remember this name, Marcus Jones. He plays DB for them, but sometimes they use him in offense, so he can play on both sides of the ball, and he's definitely dangerous in as a returner. So my special teams keys is Jason Sanders. Don't miss any extra points, goddammit. Make all your extra points. I can understand you missing a 60-yarder or 55-yard field goal. Don't miss no extra point, because you did that last week and that almost cost us. And don't kick directly to Marcus Jones, either in kickoff or punt return. Coffin corner kick it or kick that shit out of bounds. When Shula coached against the Patriots, let's take a look at the 1990 game in week 1. We beat them 27-24. And after watching this whole game, I can tell you that this game was won primarily by running back Sammy Smith, fullback Tony Page, wide receiver Tony Martin, who was a rookie this year, but caught a bomb for touchdown and did well for us as a returner on special teams. Tight end Farrell Edmonds, who helped with catches in key moments, and Jeff Cross, who pressured New England quarterback Steve Grogan, who was running that donut. He pressured him all game long. But props to Sammy Smith, because he balled hard this game, and I think he would have had the same numbers had he not fumbled on a long run that would have went for a touchdown. Even though Marino did pull off a fourth quarter comeback with a pass to fullback Tony Page in the end zone, he was scrambling to the right, but since he got that strong arm, he did what Josh Allen did against when he was with the Buffalo Bills. Is both of them got such strong arms that they can roll, they can be going out of bounds, but still find a wide receiver cutting back inside and drop a dime right to him in the back of the end zone. He did that with Tony Page, but I think this was one of Marino's bad games in my opinion. Even though he had that fourth quarter comeback, he threw 2 interceptions. One of them was almost a pick six. And I chose this game as a game that we can look at versus the Patriots this week, because Shula adjusted and had contingency plans to counter their game plan on defense. The Patriots played off coverage to try to prevent Duper and Clayton from beating them deep, and they kind of took them out of the game in some ways, but Shula was able to counter that with split back formations by having Marino expose them underneath. Tony Page became the leading receiver this game, and I think McDaniel can use that same strategy against Belichick. Throw the ball to Ingo. Throw the ball underneath the Barrios. Make them have to account for that so that we can go deep down the field. And I would say in this game also, I noticed the Patriots ran a lot of single back formations and was hurting us with John Stevens at running back and Irvin Fryer, who made plays. He had to get carried off in the stretch of this game, but he came back in. And so you can't say that all teams ran a lot of split back in this era, because as in this game, the Patriots pretty much stuck with single back formations for most of the game. We pretty much stuck with split back formations for most of the game. That's why I call the Shula split back offense a great offense, because not everybody was running it, and not everybody was running it as well as Shula, even if they were running it. So that's what I got for this game. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section on how we can possibly beat the Patriots. That's the research that I did, and that's what I think we should do, both offensively, defensively, and on special teams. But if we win this game, we're going to be 2-0. We're going to have power, not only in the conference, but in the division. And it's going to definitely serve us well later on in the season. But that's all I got for this show. Till next time, signing off.